Okay. Gonna move stuff around a bit. So let's get to work here. So yeah, you guys, if you have not tried virtual reality, it is a very interesting time to get involved in that, I can tell you. So tonight, I went on there to meet one of my friends who had helped me with the Discord. Oh, where did that go? There we go. And so when I went on to VR chat, I met up with some people that just absolutely cracked me up. There were two guys from England in there that were in this avatar area where you can try out different avatars for yourself, and they had these very I think they call them posh English accents. One character was a pink bird, like a some sort of a, I don't know what kind of bird he was. Looks kind of like one of those birds that during Easter time they're like a puffed sugar bird, if that makes sense. And he had a English top hat and a monocle and a black little mustache, and his friend was a H.R. Giger alien that was about, I would say, 2 foot tall, wearing a tuxedo, and speaking with again, a very prominent, posh English accent. And I met these guys, and we started, to talk and kind of joke around, and I just couldn't stop laughing. I mean, it was so funny to see a small 2 foot tall alien talk to you with his mouth moving as this person is somewhat puppeteering this avatar. It is just the funniest, craziest thing that you can imagine, and it's so how can I say this? It's sort of like if you imagine, like Alice in Wonderland. They talk to these crazy characters, like a rabbit. Isn't it kind of strange that Alice talks to a rabbit? And so. Oh, let me see here what's going on. It's the wrong thing, I think. Eraser tool. So it's just so crazy and so unexpected and weird to engage with these kind of people, and it's just a lot of fun, and I've met people from I talked to a person from South Korea the other day about South Korea, just talking about his country and everything, and then I talked to an Arab from Saudi Arabia, and then I talked to some Japanese people. I talked to other Americans. I talked to a guy in California who has autism, I found out. All as sort of, different strange cartoon characters and creatures and robots and this kind of thing. I talked to some people from the Ukraine and Russia. So it is just such it's a crazy place where you kind of learn about different cultures and people and what they are like and what they do. And because you're in a sort of a virtual environment, there's no sort of, how can I put this? Your guard isn't up with people, like in real life. You don't really know who you're speaking to. You don't know their age. Sometimes you don't know their sex. You don't know a lot about, the basic things that you would see as sort of social cues when you talk to somebody just at random. So I just find it really a fascinating thing to engage in virtual reality with other people. And there's also a lot of strange elements to it, and I think that Brian would probably love it because he likes to really talk a lot, Mr. Cheddar. But there's there are people that are characters that do strange things, like you can emote with your hands and your head. You can sort of move around. There's newer technologies where people are able to track their entire bodies in virtual reality. So now you have like characters that dance around. There's like dancing competitions. And it's much like motion capture in a Hollywood movie where somebody moves and talks. Uh, and they're essentially, puppeteering cartoon characters. It's just such a weird thing. And when you walk up to a character that is only 6 inches tall, and and you look at them, and they're looking up at you, and they're talking, and you can hear them, and um, you kind of your reality is somewhat suspended, and uh, it really has to be experienced to be understood. Um, I mean, I don't know if you guys are out there have tried it, any of my friends in this chat, but I highly suggest you guys do look into virtual reality. And um, creatively speaking, and art wise, because that's what we do, right? We make films and things. There are some aspects to it that even extend into stop motion and things like that. In fact, I found a article which I'm not sure if I posted it or not on our Facebook page. I'd have to check. I think I might have, but there was a college that used a system of photographing stop motion puppets on a turntable. And what they would do is they would take the puppet and animate it as you would normally animate it. So it would be on this turntable, and so the puppet would face forward. You would animate it, and then the next thing that would happen is you would take a picture of the pose, and the turntable would automatically, using stepper motors, would turn however many degrees it needed. So the puppet would turn, let's say, I'm going to say like 15 degrees in between each photograph. So it had a 360 degree photographed series of pictures of each pose. And let's say it was about, I don't know, 20 images or something, maybe. I'm not really entirely sure. But, and then what they would do is they would input this into a computer, all the images. They would process the stop motion characters and insert them into a 3D environment. Now the 3D environment was totally fake. It was probably CG created, but in this environment there were these tables, and on these tables would be the stop motion puppet that was animated, and they would use an algorithm of sorts to make it so that you could walk around the puppet as it was animated and see it from all directions. And so in other words, it would be like interacting with a character that was really in front of you, walking around, and it had all the traits of a stop motion puppet. So like a CG character, you can kind of tell it's fake, but in this case, with the way that they did things, it looked evidently very realistic. Now, they didn't allow you to sort of they didn't have a link where you can download it and try it out. But the idea to me is really fascinating. Also, Google has come up with a new technology, which I actually downloaded a test, but I haven't watched it yet. Let me see if I can. Well, I can't bring it up, but they have a special kind of camera that can photograph objects and people and scenery and whatever you want, really. And each photograph allows you to do something similar, where you can move left and right and kind of up and down without distortion of whatever was photographed. So a puppet For example, now what you would do is you would use either a 360-degree camera for virtual reality or a 180-degree camera. And these cameras are okay, but when you watch a video like on YouTube of a video like that, you'll find that when you move your head left and right, or if you move left and right, everything kind of stays, it's stereo, but it doesn't move with you. So Google has already come up with the technology where the image does move with you, but currently the technology is clunky and large, and it's on an object that sort of looks like a bow for a bow and arrow. And on the bow side, there's some sort of cameras that are set up to photograph the scene, and then the whole bow kind of swivels, and it makes I don't really understand exactly how it works, but it swivels, and it will capture kind of like it will capture around the object somehow. So like I say, I don't really quite understand how it works, but the idea of having the ability to interact with a stop motion puppet, not just in 3D like a 3D movie, but where you can physically move around it, I think could be kind of an amazing experience. It's something that probably Henry Selick would do because he's very cutting edge and modern, and is really into that sort of thing. But I think that would be just it's something that's worth looking forward to for stop motion. Yeah, it's kind of like Second Life, Brian. That's correct. Yep. Hey, Hoser Lou, welcome back. Yeah, I mean, I think even Ron Cole would be impressed. Oh, all right. Well, I don't know. It is about stop motion. It's about photographing it properly and for the purpose of virtual reality, but okay. See ya, I guess. So anyways, I find the new technologies interesting, and I find, there's a lot of possibilities to, let me see, where's my eraser? To incorporate those technologies into stop motion. So that's, of course, up for debate, I suppose, but I think it's a good idea. Hey, Spastic Chihuahua. Yeah, I think it's a great thing. I mean, I'm not really afraid of technology or anything like that. I guess perhaps it is a new thing, and maybe it's a bit far-fetched for some. I don't know. Don't really understand why Ron would be upset about that, but these are all new things that are, no matter what we may, if we have an opinion whether we like or don't like these things, there are already people experimenting with them in a stop motion sense, and I think that's cool. So I don't know. I really don't think it's something to be feared either. I think that one day, if you went to, for example, Leica, and they said that, okay, we want you to animate a scene, and we're going to use this virtual reality camera setup. I don't think I would, I would say, sure, let's do it. Let's make some. And in fact, Phil Tippett is even into virtual reality, and it's working on a virtual reality stop motion project. So, these are not really, it's not a scary thing. Yeah, that's all right. Well, I like Ron, but he's got his opinions, and you gotta respect it. So, all right. But anyways, so yeah, I don't know. I just I'm excited for the future, and I just kind of wonder what things will be on the horizon, and I try to be forward thinking as much as possible. I think especially nowadays with I mean, I'm just thinking, wow, wouldn't it be cool if there was a puppet that Ron Cole made, and it was like a Sinbad film, but it was in virtual reality where you could be in front of a 30-foot tall monster that was animated in stop motion, and actually be in front of it in virtual reality and have the sense of scale and everything. I think that would be awesome. Maybe I'm just too positive or something. But anyways, so it's just something that you know. There's the Oculus Rift and the HTC Vive, and it's all experimental right now. A lot of it's really experimental, and there's a lot of technologists who are trying to tell people and help them to understand, the positives and negatives of it, and also some are saying that it has the ability, or it has the potential to really change most of how we see things in the world, both in photography and in interactions, and God, I think it's really important to understand that stuff, and it can be fun. It can be fun. Let's see. So Janet says, my parents hate VR. They say this is dangerous for the brain. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, like new technology, it does scare people. I do have a plan to, when I do make, once I make enough money, to buy that QCam, which is a 180-degree VR camera, and I want to experiment with that and shoot some stop motion with it, and put it on the YouTube channel for people to watch in their headsets, because I know that it's possible to do. I know it's already at the point where you can do it. It's just that not too many people have done it. There is one video that you can watch, and it's a VR video by a brick filmer that made a kind of a virtual reality short film, and it is, I think it's a 360-degree video, and it is immersive. You can get inside of the brick house that he made, or the shop, where all these characters go in and out of this. I think it's like a bakery or something. Let's see here. How do you spell that? Spell what? I don't know. Oh yeah, the Quickie Mart. Yes, you've seen that one. It's pretty good, and it's, I don't know how he filmed it, but it definitely, everything seemed to work inside there, and I think at the end there's like, live action where they're kind of looking down inside of it, and it is definitely something that I think if Ron Cole or other people that are apprehensive about it were to see what these films look like, they would be more inclined to get on board. Let's see, 15. Let's see what this does. It's not good enough. 30. Okay. See if we can clean this up here. Guess that's not too bad. You know, one of the scenes in this here, I need to add a crow on the branch. And now this tree is going to be like this in the shot. Like this is not going to have a lot of zoomed in imagery. So I think the crow I need to put here. So what I might actually do is open up the actual large photos of the crow that I've got and paste them in here. I'll have to shrink them down really small. So if I have enough time tonight, I'm going to probably have to do that as well. I can't forget. Otherwise, I'll have to do that later on. And I'd rather finish this one particular image up before I move on. There's a lot of green on here. Let's see. Delete. Okay. So I don't really like all these jaggies, but I think the fact that this won't be a close-up of these branches, I think that the final product of the film will not see any of those jaggies. They call it aliasing. Let me see. Yeah, I might want to smooth that out at least a little bit. So this zoom level, I might have a zoom level about like this for the film, so yeah, this here I'll have to clean up just a little. It is pretty jagged. Oops. So Brian is saying, I am in Seattle, so yeah, there are actual places to go experiment with VR. Yep, I've heard about that. Like VR arcades. And Whiskey says, it's hard to keep viewers focused. VR is going to be fun, but I don't think it's going to be a big player for some time in media, video, and more. So say the 2.5D animator. Yeah, we'll see. I think the next 5 years will be when it really takes off. It's already growing in leaps and bounds now, but I think once the technology becomes a bit more cheaper, I think right now it's a little expensive for people. It's like you gotta buy a computer with a nice graphics card, as well as the headsets, you know, which are about $400 US. The headset, which comes with like handheld devices for your, you know, manipulating objects and that sort of thing. So it is expensive, and you know, whoever is the first to sort of come up with consumer products that allow for stop motion animators to, you know, make stop motion films and whatnot in a simple way, you know, without a lot of headache and without the need for a lot of technical expertise, it's going to be, I think, used more and more. I'm willing to bet that when they make a webcam that is a virtual reality, like 180-degree webcam, maybe it will be Logitech or somebody. I mean, just imagine having the ability to see other people and, you know, on a webcam in VR or something. I think people would like that, honestly. And that's going to translate to stop motion because, let's face it, most stop motion animators start out with webcams that are, you know, under or around like the $50 range, I would say, like the QuickCams, the HD QuickCams. I'm willing to bet one of those companies will make some sort of a VR webcam eventually. And that's going to be when I think most people will just be like, what can I do with this, you know? And Dragon Frame is fairly quick to add new webcams and things like that to their capabilities. So it just makes sense that that will be the way things, whoops, eventually flow. What happened there? Ooh. It selected like half my image there. How come that happens? Maybe my tolerance is too much there. Let's go with 30. Let's see what this does here. Oh, that's pretty good. Okay. So let's see here. Use the blur tool on the Jaggies. So how would I go about doing that exactly? Now I know how to use like filter, blur, Gaussian blur, lens blur, motion blur. So I can do like Gaussian blur. But how would you do that just on the edges? Is there a way? That would be an awesome trick if there is one. This here is pretty messy. Let's see if this will work. Oh, doesn't work too bad. I'm gonna have to blend this together though. This here, I wonder why. I thought I blended this before. What exactly happened here? I think I've got, when I stitched these images together, this stitch line I didn't fix. I mean, I can fix it, but let's see. I'd have to move everything. So I got a toolbar. So do I use it with the so you say blur tool. Let me look. So we got eraser, background eraser, magic eraser. We've got, oh, the blur tool. I see. This tool. I gotcha. Let's see how that works. If it works better than what I've been doing here. Let's see. Yeah, that works pretty good actually. Thank you for the tip. That works great. Thanks. All right. Yes, read. So Paul Howard on let's see here. Let me back up. So if you blend, you may end up with blue lines and ghosting. Let me see what the blur tool does here. I think this won't really work here so well. I mean, maybe it will. I mean, it does, but I'm wondering if this is going to show up even with a blur. Oh, maybe not. It does work pretty good. I can kind of tell it's there, but let me make the size bigger. And I guess again, this won't be very large in the frame, so hopefully this is enough to hide that line there. Yeah, this is pretty good. And really blur this one here. I think I might need to smudge too. Get that. Where's that smudge tool? There we go. See, that kind of drags that line, which is a little prominent there. It kind of covers it up a little, so like right here where there's like a stair stepper. That's nice. All right. Very cool. All right. Well, let's go through here. Oh, what is Alexa doing?
I don't know that one.
I wasn't talking to you. Yeah, you know, it's kind of interesting. Well, never mind. Let's do the same thing here. Let's get rid of that little green blotch that's sticking up right there. Okay. I think there's another hole around here somewhere. Here it is. Another hole. Gonna cover these up. Blend those together. Yes, so remind everybody, Brian, what you were doing back in 1988 on computers. A lot of digital manipulation. Okay, that's pretty good, I think. Oh, there's a hole right there. Although that's really small. A lot of this stuff is just minor. I probably don't even need to mess with it too much. Let's go back to the blur tool and blur all this stuff. Actually, get this. Let me get this first. Get these out of the way. Ooh, wow, that did pretty good. This doesn't really matter, but I'm just curious what this looks like. Clean that up a bit. Alright. See right over here, I think this here needs to be cleaned up too. Oh, that's a reflection. Okay. So yeah, anyways, you know, so the new technologies that are out there, you know, it's kind of like 3D printing. I think, you know, it took a while. I remember Ron Cole also was unhappy with the fact that Leica had used, you know, 3D printing technologies, and to a degree, he's pretty much right. On, you know, the style of stop motion kind of looks very clean nowadays, to the point where it almost looks like a CG, you know. So the distinction that stop motion has, you know, that charm and the fingerprints and all that kind of stuff. So why doesn't this seem to be working here? Are you blurring? Let's put the strength up. This isn't working now. What the heck? Blur tool. Yes. Mode normal. Strength 82. Let's go to 100. Why is that? Photoshop? What's going on with you? Maybe it's the diameter. Is it working or not here? Let me see. Let's go to a really jagged spot like here. Let's see what this does. Well, it's not working. Let me save this. Now let's restart Photoshop. I think it's bugged. It's getting buggy. Oh yeah, the Neverhood, that's right. Yep, that was DreamWorks many years ago. And okay, now the blur tool is working. Just decided not to work for no particular reason there. Alright. I never really understand this program sometimes. Anyways. Now I've got to the strength 100. That might be too much because it wasn't working. Let's bring it down a bit. I know Doug TenNapel has got his YouTube channel is growing a lot because he's been, I noticed, broadcasting every single day, live video chats talking about whatever comes up. And I don't know if he's just not working or decided he wants to go, work on YouTube full time. So he's putting all his energy into it, and has a pretty nice little following. I'm not sure if I can't on this live stream, I guess, like post a link in the chat to his channel. But if you look up Doug TenNapel, TenNaple, he's got some videos on. It is various interviews with people. He shows how to like draw and ink and then watercolor Earthworm Jim, I guess. That was one of the videos. I hadn't really watched them in full. I've been pretty busy, but seems like pretty awesome stuff. Let me see here. But I don't know what he's doing in terms of, I think he wrote some comic books and stuff. Trying to see what gives me a better edge here. Is it erasing? Is it like this, or by smudging, or by blurring, or what? The blur kind of works pretty good, but it leaves a real definite edge there like that. Like the jaggies seem to either grow or with the blur, or I don't know. I think this might be cleaner in some ways, but use the blur tool again. Maybe bring the size down, maybe that's why. Some of these parts have a really jagged edge, like right here. Don Bluth, yeah. See, the eraser tool does a pretty good job in certain instances, like where there's a straight line. What I do is I hold shift and go between 2 points, and I'll make a nice straight line. That works pretty good. And if you go back and forth, it actually becomes a little bit cleaner. I think the blur, while it does work, I think that it's causing like jaggies, like this little, like if I were to zoom in here, there's like a peak here. So when I blur it, you'll notice that this little chunk here kind of comes out. Well, now, see, but my brush is small, so now it's not doing it so bad. It really depends on brush size and I guess a lot of different factors. It'd be cool if they had a way. Let me see if I select. If I select like this. Oh, wait a second here. I just need to get rid of that. Get out of there. Gotta erase this random thing. Let me, in my blending options, put stroke on. This will show me where there's any stray stuff. Like that. Stray thing here. Stray thing here. So stroke really brings out all of these little problems. So here's where I blurred it, right? This is where I blurred it. Got a lot of junk sticking out here. Let's see, okay. So you guys in chat, or have you been, Trina? Have you guys been working on any, personal projects as of late, or anybody up to anything interesting? I know Janet was talking about the new Star Wars cartoon that was coming out, and I probably won't watch that because I don't like Ron Cole. I don't really watch a lot of TV, so I mean, if it was on the internet, I might watch an episode or two, just to see what it's like. I was never into a lot of like Star Wars cartoons and all that kind of thing, but my sister has a DVD of the Star Wars Clone Wars, like the cartoon series. Is it Clone Wars? It's all CG, but it's fairly well done. The story was actually really good. I think it doesn't bother me. I think, like with certain people, some people are purists, with stop motion and all, but I don't mind watching other films, and of course, I mean, it's if the story is good, the medium isn't really the most important thing sometimes. I think we forget why we do what we do. Like why do we make these stop motion films or use the mediums that we use? And I think if we put too much importance on the medium, it's not healthy. I mean, I don't want to go off on a rant, but it's not the point. It's a thing that we are good at, we enjoy the process, and we do it. But the ultimate point is to tell the story in a unique way and to make the point, which is, what you're trying to convey. Maybe you're trying to change perceptions of something, or you're trying to educate about something, or maybe you're just trying to make somebody laugh. You have a sense of humor, and you want to transfer that idea to other people. And the medium is not really the most important thing. I mean, but of course we are a stop motion channel, so we do focus on it, but it's not at the exclusion of everything else out there. It's not sort of because we are the best, we are number one, we are like in a tribe or something, and we have to stick together and fend off the enemy or something like that. I think that's just the wrong attitude, if I might say so. But okay, so Randy says he finished his last project in February, and hasn't been inspired to start something new. I see. And Brian says Clone Wars is an elaborate animatic to use a decade from now to create live action VR games, possibly. And Hosrulu says I've been working on the same project off and on for 4 years. That's pretty typical of stop motion right there. How long did it take me to finish my Zombie Pirate Tale first episode? It was like 10 years. Took me forever. And I mean that in a literal sense, And I got sidetracked on different projects and family stuff. So I guess that's pretty normal. And the bigger the project, the longer it takes, of course. I'm trying to even this out here. Magic Wand tool did not get all of this stuff. And Jason says, I've been rewiring the house. I'll get back to stop motion one day soon. Well, you need electricity to hook up your computer and lights and all that, so that would be pretty important, I guess. That would be like a on your to-do list for your studio, right? Because gotta have electricity. So evidently there's some like invisible stuff here that I missed. A lot of strange things with which I can't see, but Photoshop can see somehow. Oops. Make this bigger. Oops, that got a little out of hand. There. Get this smaller. And Brian says it would be like having a channel exclusively for camel brush makers only. Yeah. Only one type of brush. And the thing is also like there's so many. Different ways to make puppets. I think you're making a good point there, Brian. Like you can't just say stop motion is one type of puppet making technique. It has to be clay. It has to be foam. It has to be silicone. Yeah, it's just very limiting of an attitude. And there's sort of a bigger. I don't know. But to each his own. Ooh, let's go back there. When you're zoomed in really far, it's hard to control the little box on this navigator screen here. All right. Photoshop, Photoshop, Photoshop. I did not realize that it would be so imprecise. I'm curious if the newer versions of Photoshop do a better job with these tools, like the Magic Wand and all that kind of stuff. I know that when I bought, when I had originally Adobe After Effects, and it was a really old version of Adobe After Effects, and I had started to make Zombie Pirate Tales using it, and I had used the green screen options in there, and I could not get it to work really that well. So what I did is I downloaded the they had Sony Vegas, I forget what version, but what they did is they offered it for like a trial download kind of a thing, and so I I downloaded it and I tried out the chroma key options, and I loaded up a scene of the boats that I had animated that were it had pink as the chroma key background. It was not green because there was some, I think there was some green in the either on the boat or I can't remember now. I guess the fish. I think the fish was green. That's why. So I used pink and After Effects, which I thought was like the premier best thing you could buy. Would be best, and when I tried that, it just blew it away. Like Sony Vegas, their chroma key options for like a $50 program, and Adobe After Effects was expensive when I got that. So, long story short, I transferred everything over to Sony Vegas, because of their advanced chroma key options and stuff. So I'm kind of wondering like what Photoshop is today, and I'm willing to bet that this here could be done so much better if I just paid for it, paid for a newer version, the latest one. But I don't have any experience with the new one to know if the price point is worth it or not. Because this one here, this version is so glitchy on Windows 10. I think this is designed for like Windows. I don't even think it's supposed to work on Windows 7. Maybe the latest version was Windows ME or something like that this could work on. But I know Peter Montgomery is using After Effects really heavily, and it seems like his compositing is really good in there. It seems like that has really changed quite a lot. Or did I say Premiere? I meant to say After Effects, the new version of After Effects. His compositing looks really phenomenal. It's all in perfect HD, and I shouldn't have done that. Okay. So Ryan says, shift about to rain. I need to drag laptop inside and may lose Wi-Fi. Okay. Well, see you later, Brian, if you're still there. Anyways, it's almost 9 o'clock. I was kind of hoping to get this done tonight, but I mean, it's actually pretty good. Obviously, there's still a few small things to get rid of here and there. Like this. It's pretty bad. But now it's fixed. And all this stuff here, we're not gonna see this stuff, technically speaking. But we could erase it anyway. Just because, for absolutely no reason. So I think the top of the tree might have a few little spots. So maybe next week what we'll do is we'll work on the sky for this, and for that I might use Krita, because Krita has some brushes that are way nicer than in Photoshop, at least this version of Photoshop. And the sky, Mr. Force was mentioning to me that in Moho you can have like a layer that's just the sky, and I'm gonna need to make probably, let me think here, at least 2 skies. One will be for the daytime in here, because obviously they meet in the daytime, but when it turns night everything kind of goes dark, and I think I'm gonna make I'm gonna turn all this stuff blue by changing the colors. So they've got like image adjustments, and then there's color balance, so you can change everything towards the blue, blue side of things. You know, so it can look like it's nighttime, essentially is what I'm saying. And that's going to take some work and some experimenting with to do. But I'm thinking that the sky could be black with stars, perhaps, and then maybe some clouds that are purple and blue and just like, you know, really nice, maybe some turquoise in there or something, just kind of make it really beautiful. And that will shift the mood of the film. And so the point of that would be to have a more sinister feel, you know, a darker feel to the film, but not really scary, you know, because this is a kid's film, so I don't want to make it too dark. If I wanted to do that, I would probably go with shades of gray or something like that. But we'll make it sort of mystical looking, I think. And, oh man, there's a lot of stuff over here. It's a little bit mystical. Got some clouds in there. I don't think I'll have a moon per se, but I might need to add something like that because it would make sense to have a light source that would shine down on everything, just to sort of make it more of a practical, logical. Like, you know, the audience will be like, "Where's the light coming from?" You know, there's no moon. So just to please that kind of crowd that always asks questions like that. This film makes no sense. It should be completely dark. So I think for the most part I got all those little blobs. Let me check. Let's zoom out. And I think we are done. Except for maybe on the very far left here. There we go. Like such. Yes, Alexa. So my Alexa is glowing. I don't know what it's doing here. Alright, I don't really need to do that. But anyways, I'm going to save this. And let's turn off our stroke and take a look. I think we are good. I think this is going to work. You see one strange thing here. So I guess my camera, there's some strange stray pixel things going on here. So I'm just going to clean this up. Whoops, that's not very good. And maybe like this. That's too dark. Let's see what this does. No, that's not going to work either. That's close enough. Nobody will notice. Alright, so let's save it. Alright, well anyways, that does conclude our show for tonight. It is 9 o'clock. So if you guys are interested, make sure to check out our 5-week challenges. We do have one challenge, which is to contribute to the webpage. We have graphics that do need to be added, which if anybody wants to try out their Photoshop skills and wants to enter the challenge, feel free to do so. And I guess I will see you all next week. See you later.